All right, these are the other questions from lesson 6, 8, 9b, and 14. So for 8, it says the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. So immediately I'm going to draw a right angle triangle so I can see it. The hypotenuse is this binomial, 5x minus 6. Okay. The other two sides, it says, are 4x minus 7 and 3x minus 1. It doesn't really matter which one I label, as long as I understand that they're different. Then it says, form an equation to solve and determine the value of x. So really, when we have our diagram drawn, which is great, we put all the information in. X doesn't really represent anything, it's just a number. We have to figure out what formula can I use. Well, this is a right angle triangle, so I have trig and Pythagorean. I'm not doing anything with the angles, so it's probably not trig. I'm going to use Pythagorean. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub in the values. This is going to be c. So when I put this in, remember to put your brackets. It's going to be 5x minus 6 squared. And then over here, we're going to use the other two side lengths for a and b. So 3x minus 1 squared plus 4x minus 7 squared. So now, in order to solve this question, you're going to expand all of these by using the exponents. So multiply them out. You're going to collect all the like terms, and you're going to solve for x. Eventually, it's going to get to some point where it's going to be like some number of x's. I think this ends up being like 25x squared on this side with a bunch of other stuff, and this is 25x on this squared with a bunch of other stuff. They're both going to cancel out, and you're going to be able to isolate to make x is equal to some number. I'm not going to show the steps for this because the last video was very similar, but this initial setup is the challenging part of the question. Next one, we have a bunch of rectangles with these dimensions. Write and simplify an expression in A for the area of one of those rectangles. Okay, so again, I'm going to draw a diagram. One side is 4a minus 3, one side is 2a plus 7. So the area is equal to length times width, which is going to be 4a minus 3 times 2a plus 7. We're multiplying one dimension times the other dimension. In order to finish a, we're going to have to distribute this and solve. So we get 8a squared plus 28a minus 6a minus 21. Collect like terms, 8a squared plus 22a minus 21. That's the answer for A, an expression. Now this one says one of the rectangles has a perimeter of 50. Determine the length and width. So really what that's saying is, be very careful, because my initial thought was, oh, we can use this formula. But this formula is for area. But this question is saying we have a perimeter. So I'm going to start by saying perimeter equals 50. This is a new question. Okay? And then the way I can think of it, what's the formula for perimeter? Before we used area equals length times width. Perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus 2 times width. Right? This side times 2, this side times 2, all added together. So we're going to use that and solve. I know the perimeter is 50, so I can say 50 equals. And then I have to do 2 times the length, which we'll say is the blue one, 2a plus 7, plus 2, 4a minus 3. So again, let's distribute these so we can solve. 50 equals 4a plus 14 plus 8a minus 6. Collect like terms. 50 equals 12a. These went together. Plus 8. Okay. Move 8 to the other side, so it's going to become 42 equals 12a. And then divide and get your answer. Okay. That's all we have to do. The tricky one with this one was you had to think, what's the formula for perimeter, and start with that. For 14, these two are equal area. Okay? So I'm going to say, let's write the area of this shape. It's length times width. It says it's a square, so that means both sides are x, so it's going to be x times x, which is really just x squared. The area of this one is length times width, so it's going to be x minus 3 times x plus 5, which when we distribute becomes x squared plus 5x minus 3x minus 15. Now, it's saying these two are equal to each other. So I could say, let's call this area 1 and area 2. Area 1 equals area 2. We can just sub this in for area 1 and this in for area 2. So x squared is equal to x squared plus 5x Oh, sorry, those go together. I'm sorry, simplify. 2x minus 15. These two became 2x. So now, again, similar to other questions, we can cancel these out from both sides, and we can simplify and solve. So this is going to become negative 2x is equal to negative 15, which means x is equal to 15 over 2, or 7.5. So, and it said to the nearest tenth, right? So 7.5. That's it. That's how you solve these questions, and that's it.